Overshadowed by the Second World War and the Cold War, the Korean War is known as the Forgotten War in the UK. So how did it happen, and how was Britain involved? After the Second World War, the Korean peninsula is divided between the Soviet Union-backed Communist North and the US-backed capitalist South. So what goes wrong? June 1950, the North Korean People's Army invades South Korea, occupying Seoul. The US declares a national security threat and, with Britain's backing, gets North Korea declared an aggressor by the United Nations Security Council. The UN calls on all members to help the South. Britain is among countries to respond. British ground forces arrive to defend the port of Pusan, a logistical hub, and go straight into action. With South Korean and UN forces pinned down, the Royal Navy launches an amphibious landing, 150 miles behind enemy lines. UN forces rapidly advance north, taking Pyongyang before moving to within 40 miles of the Chinese border. Alarmed at UN forces coming so close, China declares war and makes its move, pushing UN forces back south. UN forces retreat across North Korea. China eventually takes Seoul. General MacArthur considers using the atomic bomb, but tactics and determination win the day. The UN attacks and recaptures Seoul, and UN troops reach the 38th parallel days later. UN forces dig in close to the north-south border, and one of the bloodiest battles fought by the British Army since the Second World War is about to begin. A massive Chinese counter-attack sees 3 days of savage fighting. The 1st Battalion of the Gloucestershire Regiment is cut off and destroyed, making a last stand on Hill 235. It helps break the Chinese advance, and mass Chinese attacks are fought off, allowing retreat to a new defensive position covering Seoul. From then until July 1953, the conflict descends into stalemate. An armistice is signed after months of talks. That armistice and the demilitarized zone it created still hold today, and the war has never been officially over. 2.5 million people lost their lives, including 1,100 British soldiers and 37,000 Americans. Stuart Rumble, Forces News.